Ben Rhodes is the 2023 NASCAR Truck Series champion, and with his latest title, is now impressively a two-time Truck Series champ. He's undeniably been on the hottest three-year stretch across all three NASCAR series, scoring two titles in 2021 and 2023, and a runner-up finish sandwiched in between. And he's just 26. Could the Thor Sport racing driver add a third title in 4 years? Let's find out. I'm happy to welcome to the channel for the first time in 2024, the two-time NASCAR Truck Series champion, Ben Rhodes. Welcome to the channel, Ben. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you having me on.
So before we get into talking about racing, I know this is, as I mentioned, your first time in 2024 and your first look at the new setup. I'm just curious if you notice anything in particular.
Yeah, maybe that die cast over your right shoulder. It looks pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, well, there's a story behind that diecast. It used to sit directly behind me in my old studio, and it was like an Easter egg, and I kept it hidden until you won the championship, and then I revealed it. Well, with 2024, I did a new studio. I moved everything around, and your diecast, since you're the champion, I thought it should sit on top of the pedestal, so it's directly behind me, and it'll be here for the duration of the season.
I love it front and center. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So we've talked about the diecast. Where can fans go to purchase maybe not that diecast, but diecast from the 2023 season and your championship?
Yeah, so everything that has to do with Ben Rhodes merch, it would be benrhodes.com. That's my website. So anything that you purchase from us in the comment section at checkout, just ask for me to sign it. If you want something signed or you have some sort of personal message on there, feel free to ask because I love doing that. I get a lot of that actually, and that's one of the main reasons people come and get diecast from us. It's because you get it from me. So, yeah, benrhodes.com. Please check it out.
All right, let's talk about your real truck and what happened in 2023. So you started the 2023 campaign with a change in crew chief, but then in the season, you go on to score 14 top tens, half of them top fives, and that big win at Charlotte. So tell me what you remember most besides the title, because obviously it was another title winning run for you. What do you remember most about the 2023 season?
Well, it's funny. I tend to focus on negatives or things that need to be better or what can I change that can make us stronger for the 2024 season. So with that, I was focusing on the five races that well we frankly just got wrecked out of. There was like five races in a row leading up to Charlotte where we just couldn't do anything right. We were just always in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But with that comes from a lack of speed, right? If you run in the back, you're running in a less than desirable group and you get wrecked. I mean, that's par for the course, right? I think Johnny Sauter put it best: when you run with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts cracked. So, for us, we've got to make sure that we don't have performances like that, right? We want every single race to go out and be a top 10. And, the really good days would be top fives. And those are days that you're competing for wins. So we want to up our game a little bit in the sense that we get out of that 10 through 20 range on our bad days. And on our bad days, we're still in a top 10. But on our good days, we're giving ourselves shots at wins with top fives. If you can run in the top five, you're increasing your chances. And really, we want about at least 3 wins this year. One just didn't do it for us last year. We need at least 3.
All right. So before we actually go into this season in 2024, I want to get a little update on what you did in the off season. I understand there were some changes in your family dynamic, or there are coming changes.
Yeah, there's coming changes. We're about 1 month away from a big change happening. So my wife's, I guess, 8 months pregnant now at this point. So we've got a new baby on the way, and everybody says, before you ask, everybody says, "Well, what's the baby? What's the baby's name?" Well, we don't know if we're having a girl or a boy yet. We're waiting to be surprised. So it's gonna be exciting times, but the timing's a little bit funky for me because the season starts right now, and then we go into a really a tough stretch for the Truck Series where we have 6 races that are fairly back to back, and one of them, darn near the time that she's due, I'm out in Vegas. So yeah, we've got some fun travel happening here very soon.
All right. Besides that storyline of you and a baby and all that on the way, what with 2024, there's been some changes. So Carson and Zane have moved up to Cup. You've had, I think William Sawalich will have more races this year. I was looking, Lane Riggs will be joining the series. So you have a different look this year with the series. So kind of give me your storylines of what you're looking for in other drivers and what your expectations are in 2024.
Well, you know what's funny about that is there's been so many changes in the truck series, and there are so many drivers, cup drivers in particular, that come and run in our series at any given race. I just saw yesterday that they announced that Busch was running some races in the Spire truck. I saw where Corey LaJoie is now running at Daytona. So there's just always an influx of different drivers coming in and out of the series. So I don't really keep up with all of it. Like I see it happens, but to me, it's kind of like a noise or a distraction that I don't need to put a lot of stock into. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is we're going to have our core group of people, and I still don't really know who they are or what their paint schemes look like until we get to Daytona. So a fun habit that I have every single year at Daytona is prior to practice, I just walk up and down our garage, and I'll just look at every single truck, and I'll try to put the name with the driver, and I'll do the same with the crew chiefs. And I just do that every year. I'll walk back and forth. I'll walk back and forth. I do that maybe 2 or 3 times. And I'm not only looking at paint schemes and crew chiefs and drivers, but I'm also kind of seeing, what they brought to the racetrack, right? Everybody brings their best rocket that they've developed over the off season. So it's funny, after you've been doing this for a while, you develop habits, and you just kind of keep them.
That's a really interesting to hear that you would do that. So Daytona is coming up, the season's starting. I'm assuming Rich is back on the pit box with you. So tell me kind of what it feels like to have Rich back after going, what, 2 years or 3 years ago, winning with him, then following it up with a runner up, and then winning when he comes back and joined your truck late in the year last year. So now he's back on the pit box with you in 2024. Rich Lushes, and Ben Rhodes. What can we expect this season?
Yeah, I hope to really build on everything that we've done in the past. I mean, most of my wins have come with, Rich at the helm. Certainly the biggest wins being the championships. So the fact that he's back gives myself a lot of confidence. The thing that Rich and I just do well is just working together. Like, we have that personal relationship where we can be harsh and, confrontational or direct to one another, but it really doesn't matter because we take it in jest and we take it in good stride because we know what we're trying to accomplish. He's a big boy. I try to be a big boy, and we go out there, we work together, we make it happen. So one of the things that I would say I enjoy most about Rich is his ability to see the big picture. He does that extremely well, so that he sees where we are at going into each race and what our goals need to be. And then he tailors the calls during the race to that big picture. And I think that gives us a tremendous advantage. The other thing that's been nice is during this offseason, he's been working with the crew that I have now for about maybe 5 months or so, when he first came on as crew chief at the end of last season. So for that 5 months, it's really instilled a great team atmosphere. And I think all the guys are really growing into their roles that they have on the team. So, it's one thing to be a good crew chief on the box, but it's also another to be a good crew chief in the shop and have a good culture and team atmosphere and allow these guys to grow in their positions, because ultimately that's going to lead to a lot more things throughout the season. When things are bad, the base morale is way higher. When things are, good, I mean, you're already at a high level, right? So it's good to have somebody that can foster that.
So last question. I'm just curious, at what point during the season, let's say, is it 3 races? Is it 5 races? Obviously, you're the two-time champ. You're the defending champ. Everybody, you've got the target on your back. But for you personally, when you go into the season, do you have a specific time frame where you go, okay, we're in good shape? Because obviously you're expecting to run up front. Do you feel like, I don't know, Coda is in March, a little over a month away? Do you feel like there's kind of a gauge where you can look at your season and say, all right, we're on the right track, or we need to pick it up? Is there anything, do you kind of go through that at any point?
Um, yeah, a little bit, but it's season by season. So, I guess if you're asking which races we really feel like we can come out and be strong at, in one sense, so Rich is really, really adamant we need to win the first 2 races. We have to win Daytona. We have to win Atlanta. And he thinks those are really good opportunities for us just because of our track record on super speedways. We have a lot of second place finishes. We have a couple first place finishes. We really really would like to win that and come out strong. It kind of all fits into our overall strategy and big picture racing that we have planned for the season. So there is a little bit of a strategy there, but really you got to evaluate it race by race. We talked earlier about those 5 races in a row where we were just flat out wrecked or in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Well, we didn't really plan for that. Certainly not 5 races in a row, but it came about from being wrong place, wrong time, running poorly. At that point in the season, it was like, we've really got to turn this thing around or we're just flat out screwed. So we go into the next race at Charlotte and we win the darn thing, right? So I think we know how to turn it around. It's just making sure we're always evaluating where we're at. But a lot of this, of course, is easier said than done.
Of course. Well, clearly, and Rich, you two working together know how to problem solve and work things out and get things trending in the right direction. All right, Ben, I really appreciate you taking the time joining us here today. Look forward to the 2024 season. Look forward to you coming back and joining us on the channel and kind of talking about how your races have been going. Again, appreciate it and wish you best of luck at Daytona.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.